Following World War II, dozens of German officers and collaborators who had supported the regime in areas like France, Croatia, and other parts of Europe sought new homes. Many were actually aware they could face trials and judgment for their wartime actions. Their main objective was to escape, preferably to a location far removed from the Nuremberg trials. The question isn't why they fled, that much is evident, but why so many chose Argentina as their destination. When the Allies raised their flags in Berlin and the German instrument of surrender was signed on May 8, 1945, it became clear to these criminals and collaborators that neither Germany nor the entire European continent was a safe place for them to stay or hide. Although the regime had collapsed and the war had ended in Europe, the network they had built had not entirely disintegrated. Former sympathizers still existed. The end of World War II didn't instantly lead anyone to recognize the regime's atrocities. Even after their defeat, many influential men in Europe who had supported the cause continued to do so. For instance, Spain, under Francisco Franco, was a neutral but friendly nation and a supporter of Germany. Exhausted and neutral due to its civil war, Spain served as a haven for many fugitives, who used it as a gateway to other destinations. Additionally, some prominent Swiss leaders had openly supported Germany and were in positions to offer assistance. Even the Catholic Church played a role in aiding some fugitives, with several high-ranking officials actively helping in their escape. There was a brief window to evade justice and potential trials. Those seeking to flee had to quickly evaluate their options to find refuge and assume new identities across the ocean. In Argentina, President Juan Domingo Perón was more than willing to welcome these former Axis members. An admirer of German ideology at the time, Perón facilitated the escape of numerous war criminals with the support of his diplomats and intelligence agents stationed in Europe. Argentina provided transit routes through Italy and Spain to Buenos Airlines. During World War II, Argentina clearly leaned toward the Axis, largely due to its president and possibly because of its close cultural ties with Germany, Italy, and Spain. As a former Spanish colony that had gained independence in the early 19th century, Argentina had developed strong connections with these European countries through decades of Italian and German migration. Argentina was pro-Italian and pro-German, mainly because a significant portion of its population was of Spanish, Italian, or German descent. Recognizing this sympathy, the German government forged special links with Argentina. The country housed many German spies, and Argentine officers and diplomats held key positions in Europe. Perón's administration showed admiration for certain totalitarian practices, steering the nation toward increased militarization and grand military parades. Many prominent and influential Argentines, including affluent businessmen and government officials, openly supported the Axis powers. Even Perón himself had served as an adjunct officer in the Italian army during the late 1930s. As a result, special bonds developed between Germany, Italy, and Argentina. Despite this, Argentina would eventually declare war on the Axis powers just a month before the war concluded. Nonetheless, some Argentine agents assisted defeated German officers in escaping after the war. There were financial incentives for Argentina to shelter these individuals. Wealthy Germans and Argentine businessmen of German ancestry were willing to pay to facilitate the escape of these fugitives. By 1945, as the Allies were dismantling the last remnant of the Axis powers, it became clear that another major conflict was looming. The capitalist United States and the Communist Soviet Union were seen by some, including Perón and his advisors, as the key players behind an imminent global conflict between the Allies and the Communists. This possibility seemed so likely to many that they believed neutral nations like Argentina could have significant sway over the outcome. Perón envisioned Argentina playing a crucial diplomatic role in this anticipated war, thereby becoming a key player on the global stage, recognizing that these fugitive criminals were also staunchy anti-communists. The Argentine president believed they could be valuable assets in the potential conflicts between the USA and the USSR. He aimed to recruit more of these fugitives, especially those with military and technological expertise, to bolster his forces and advance technological development. This strategy mirrored the actions of the United States and the Soviet Union, both of which recruited scientists to aid in their military and technological advancements. For many fugitives, Argentina offered a new home and a chance for a concealed life. However, the situation evolved over time. As the Cold War progressed, these men were gradually recognized for their past actions, and support for them dwindled. Argentina was not the only South American country to accept them. Many also found refuge in Brazil, Chile, Paraguay, and other parts of the continent. For those who arrived in Argentina after 1945, the situation changed drastically following the fall of Perón's government in 1955. There was a fear that the new administrator might not view their presence favorably and could deport them back to Europe, largely due to the new government's antagonism towards Perón and his politics. As the time went on, the presence of numerous fugitives became a significant embarrassment for the nation. By the 1990s, many of these elderly men were living openly under their real names. Some were eventually located and extradited for their trials, but many more blended into Argentina's substantial German community and likely remained silent about their pasts. These escapees utilized a network of escape routes known as rat lines, which mainly led to Latin America, particularly to countries such as Argentina, Chile, Paraguay, Colombia, Brazil, and Uruguay. There were two primary pathways. One route went from Germany to Spain and then to Argentina, while the other went from Germany to Rome to Geneva, and then to South America. This migration was made possible by the willingness of certain countries to accept these individuals and support of some influential figures. Geography played a crucial role in their escape to Argentina. Examining a map from 1945, Europe was clearly an unsafe place to hide. Some fugitives managed to find refuge in countries like Portugal, Spain, or Switzerland, but the Soviet Union threatened the East, and China and Japan were in turmoil, with Allied colonies scattered around. South Africa was predominantly a colony of France and Great Britain. To the west, the US and Canada offered little refuge, but from US-Mexican border southward, escape seemed feasible. Considering all factors, Latin America emerged as the only region with real opportunities for a fresh start, despite some being apprehended after a period. Argentina appeared to be the best option. Given the Argentine government's readiness at the war's end to accept these criminals, collaborators, and others fleeing,